Eddie, it is a pleasure to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. Oprah.
We're going to jump right into the questions today, Eddie. To start off with, what were your initial thoughts when you died?
Hmm. Well, Oprah, I was very confused at first. I woke up in a strange place, in a changing sky with all sorts of different colors. I couldn't seem to remember what happened at the moment of my death. I also felt completely different. I felt young and able, which is a severe contrast to how I felt during the last moments until my death.
Very interesting. And how did you feel when you met your first person in heaven, the Blue Man?
Hmm. Again, I was confused. I was back at the ruby pier of my childhood, and the only other person was a man that I hardly knew. Until he told me how he died, I had no idea how what a strong connection that we shared. It it made me feel awful.
What lesson did you learn from the Blue Man?
He told me that all lives intersect somehow. He explained that everything has a purpose, that everything is connected, that everything is connected to something else. Something as simple as throwing a ball can result in a man's heart attack.
I think we can all learn something from that lesson.
I agree.
The second person you met in heaven was not like the Blue Man. He was someone you knew very well, correct?
Oh, yes, very correct. Yes, the captain. He kept me alive during the war, actually, and in that awful prisoner of war camp. It's almost hard to say that kind of thing. He taught me loyalty in the form of his own phrase, "No man left behind." He also taught me about sacrifice, which was exemplified in how he lost his life to protect the 4 lives of his comrades. I was one of them.
Wow, that is truly inspirational. Did you ever truly forgive the captain for shooting you in the leg, though?
No, I did. I did, absolutely. Like I said, he sacrificed his life. Compared that to my leg being sacrificed, it was rather insignificant.
Wow, that's truly something.
Mhm.
I acknowledge the amount of suffering you must have gone through.
Yeah.
I know it must have been extremely difficult for you to forgive, or at least understand, the actions of your father as well.
Mhm.
Did you learn anything from Ruby's stories about your dad?
Despite the seemingly cruel nature of my father, I did learn about the loyalty we should have to one another. And in time, I learned to forgive my dad as well.
Okay, let's move into something more lighthearted. That was pretty rough, don't you think?
I completely agree.
All right, I'm guessing the person you enjoyed seeing most in heaven was your wife, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Seeing Margaret was incredible. I hadn't seen her in 40 years. She also taught me that love doesn't have to end with one person's death. It continues long after death, actually.
That is absolutely adorable, Eddie. Now, the last person you met in heaven was Tala, a girl you unintentionally killed at the end of the war. Was she the most difficult person to face in heaven?
Oh, yes. My worst nightmare had been realized. I really had killed that girl when burning down that prison camp. It was devastating seeing her.
What lesson did she teach you in the end?
She taught me that Ruby Pier was where I belonged, and that my seemingly simple and unimportant life actually bettered and saved thousands and thousands of lives. That changed my entire outlook on my life on Earth.
Those were all really inspirational, Eddie. Thank you for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
My last question is, what lesson do you think you could teach someone who is just entering heaven?
Oh, man, I could teach many lessons, but I believe that the lesson I would be most qualified to teach is one very similar to what the Blue Man told me. Everything is connected, and the actions that you perceive to be insignificant or worthless may actually be vital to other people.
That is truly beautiful, Eddie. That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time on ULO's Independent Project Interviews.